Good morning, Flagler County, and welcome to Veterans on Point, a WNZF radio show developed in mind for our county's beloved and respected veterans population and anyone else listening via internet or podcast. I am your host, David Lydon, the Flagler County Veterans Services Officer, and I am here naturally with my friend and colleague at the office, Eric Flores. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Dave, and good morning to all our listeners and our viewers out there. And I hope, as always, that everybody's doing well health-wise and enjoying the hot weather that we have lately in the 90s. Well, that's good. I can handle that one. It's beach time, and I hope everybody's doing well.
Well, if you're lucky enough to live in Flagler County, you're lucky enough. And recently I visited some family up in upstate New York. And a couple of days.
Welcome back.
Thank you. A couple of days it was hotter up there than it was in Florida.
Yeah.
And it's not too fun when it gets hot. You know, the air, they don't have not all everybody has the
breeze,
the AC, the
AC,
central AC.
yeah.
So you make do. Anyway, we got some sad news. Not going to do the League of Loyal Listeners list this week because one of our League of Loyal listeners we lost recently, and that is Jonelle Jones, the loving partner, spouse of my good friend Billy Jones. They were married for a long time, and Billy is taking it hard, and as is everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to read Joe's obituary. In loving memory of Jonelle R. Jones. She was born on May 10, 1937, passed away June 4th, 2025. She was affectionately known as Joe. She passed away peacefully on June 4th, 2025, at the age of 88 in Palm Coast, Florida. Born on May 10th, 1937 in Okolona, Arkansas, Jo was the beloved daughter of Marvin and Fanny Ryan. Raised in the close-knit community of Arkadelphia, Arkansas, she developed a lifelong love of learning, a warm, adventurous spirit, and a strength that defined her life. She attended Arkadelphia High School and was in the National Honor Society and a cheerleader her senior year. After graduating from high school, Jo attended Henderson State Teachers College, graduating with a Bachelor of Education degree, and was a member of the Alpha Sigma Alpha sorority. While attending HSTC, she met and married the love of her life, Billy G. Jones from Little Rock, with whom she shared 68 devoted years of marriage. Joe's early career was dedicated to teaching kindergarten and third grade students, nurturing young minds with patience, creativity, and care. After stepping away from teaching, she embraced her entrepreneurial skills when she created and operated a yarn shop where she exposed multitudes to needlework craft. She later found success and camaraderie in Mary Kay Cosmetics, where she achieved the level of director, earning several pink automobiles while inspiring and mentoring countless women with her elegance and grace. She found joy in board games, chicken foot dominoes, working crossword puzzles, and exploring her talents in the kitchen. An avid and accomplished bridge player, Jo attained the rare and high level of Gold Life Master. Yet her deepest joys came from traveling the world on ocean cruises alongside Billy and friends. Jo loved to entertain, laugh, and have fun. She was always looking for her next adventure. She truly loved life and lived it to the fullest. Jo leaves behind her husband, Billy G. Jones, her son, Stephen, his wife, Kimberly, of Dayton, Ohio, her daughter, Melinda, and her husband, John Micheletto of Knoxville, Tennessee, and two grandsons, Ryan and Justin Jones of Dayton, Ohio. She was preceded in death by her parents and her sister, Louise Sexton. And so it goes on to talk about the visitation, which was actually, as this is going to air on the 15th, that was going to be yesterday. And she will be interred at the Cape Canaveral VA National Cemetery on the 18th of June, that is. So Jo will always be remembered for her Southern charm, her warmth, and enduring grace. And Jo, you'll be very much missed by Sally and myself.
She will.
We shared many dinners together, Thanksgivings together. You and Billy have been great friends, and going to miss you. And Billy, I'll be looking out for you, okay?
Miss Joe, I believe that you are in a place that we all want to be. You beat us there. So
Well, I always believe it's mission complete.
mission, yeah. I know
She accomplished her mission here on Earth.
Indeed.
Lord called her home.
Yes.
We don't know why or when.
Yes.
Sometimes you get taken as an infant. Sometimes you get taken at 100+ years old. So
she was an adventurous. I can tell you that. She's a
spunky lady.
Spunky lady. She had the travel plan way ahead of probably before she pulled back in port from a cruise. So
and they had just recently returned from a cruise and had a couple more already planned. So
great, charming person. Great person.
All right, folks. Moving along, just want to let you know that Eric and I are your Flagler County Veteran Services officers, and you can find us at 1769 East Moody Boulevard in Bunnell. Our phone number is 386-314-4014. We're there to help you with your veterans and their families with VA benefits claims and much more. So again, that's 386-313-4014. Give us a call and find out how we're going to help you and make an appointment. That way we can dedicate a good amount of time towards your situation. This week's at the conclusion of this show this week, the song Grand Old Flag will play. Since yesterday was Flag Day. Again, this is today's Father's Day. We're airing on Father's Day.
Happy birthday to all the fathers listening to our show.
Yeah, to all the fathers out there, we love you and thank you for being so good to us. Massage by Natalie. So maybe, speaking of Father's Day, it's never too late to go out and get your dad a what do you call it? Gift certificate for Massage by Natalie.
That is a great gift.
And you can find Massage by Natalie and Company at 4871 Palm Coast Parkway Northwest, Suite number 1 in Palm Coast. Phone number is 386-227-7499. That's 386-227-7499 for all those dads out there with achy, breaky bones, muscles.
I am one of them.
I know. I've been having a stiff neck, so I'm going to have to make my appointment. All right. So, for the last it's been a couple months now, we've been profiling a U.S. President of the Week, and we're going to do it again this week. And we're up to one of our best, and that is Abraham Lincoln. The 16th president is renowned for guiding the United States through its darkest hour. Yet his lesser-known traits reveal a multifaceted man. Born in 1809 in Kentucky log cabin, Lincoln taught himself law and literature, savoring Shakespeare and crafting riddles to stump friends. His wit, evident in puzzles like, if a tail is a leg, how many legs has a dog? Well, he would say the dog has 4 legs because a tail is not a leg. So, because he said 4 because names don't change facts. That's important today. There's a lot of people trying to change facts. Yeah. So, what an astute president we had. Physically imposing at 6'4", he once hurled a heckler during a debate, but showed mercy, pardoning a soldier for cowardice and rescuing a pig from mud. His melancholy, likely depression, fueled his humor. Through premonitions that haunted him, he foresaw his 1865 assassination. Lincoln's physicality was striking, as I said, at 6'4", even without his stovepipe hat. He was unusually strong. As I mentioned, he tossed a heckler 10 or 12 feet during a political debate, as witnesses claimed. Yet he was no brute. His empathy ran deep. This compassion extended to animals. Lincoln once backtracked miles to rescue a pig stuck in mud, unable to bear its distress. Lincoln's impact on the Civil War was monumental. Assuming office in 1861, as the nation fractured, he navigated a delicate balance to preserve the Union. His strategic clarity transformed the war's purpose. The Emancipation Proclamation of 1863 defined it as a fight against slavery, freeing enslaved people in Confederate territories and allowing black soldiers to join Union ranks. This shifted global opinion, deterring European support for the Confederacy. His leadership, from selecting generals like Ulysses S. Grant to delivering Gettysburg Address, unified Northern resolve. Lincoln's abolition of slavery via the 13th Amendment cemented his legacy, though his initial colonization ideas evolved into advocating racial equality. A patent-holding innovator, he tested rifles on White House grounds. His spiritual wrestling reflected in his malice toward none. Vision shaped a hopeful, if unfinished, path towards reconciliation. His personal life was marked by oddities and tragedy. Lincoln married Mary Todd, a woman of volatile temperament, and their household was chaotic, with Mary once chasing him with a broom during an argument. He suffered from melancholy, likely clinical depression, and sought solace in humor, telling bawdy jokes to lighten his mood. Lincoln's political savvy was unconventional. He patented a device in 1849 to lift boats over shoals, making him the only president to hold a patent. He also tested rifles, as I mentioned, on the White House lawn during the Civil War. He was fascinated by technology. His belief in equality, though radical for his time, wasn't absolute. He initially supported colonizing freed slaves abroad before embracing full integration. Lesser known still is Lincoln's spiritual side. He wasn't conventionally religious, but grappled with fate and providence, especially after losing 2 sons. His second inaugural address, with it calls for malice toward none, reflects a near mystical vision of reconciliation. These layers, humorous, wrestler, dreamer, innovator, paint Lincoln, who was not just a statesman, but a man wrestling with his era's moral and personal complexities. And our quote of the week is from Abraham Lincoln, and this is on reconciliation. With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right, let us strive on to finish the work we are in. And that was in his second inaugural address, 1865, and his vision to heal a divided nation. So that's one of our greatest, certainly out of the number of 47, certainly up there at the top.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just learned 2 things. One, that he was a very empathetic person towards others. And the other one about the rescue of that pig. Didn't know about that one. So good to 2 new things that I learned today. So see, we always learn something.
You always learn something.
We always learn.
Now, who would have thought that one of your former presidents was rescuing a pig?
Yeah. And 6'4".
We're all humans. You know? We all,
absolutely.
We're humans.
Yeah.
All right, folks, that means it's time for drivers. The DAV is seeking volunteer drivers to take veterans from their homes to their VA appointments. That appointment can be at a VA clinic or a VA medical center. It could be at a community care network appointment set up by your primary care doctor. It could also be for a compensation and pension examination for your veterans benefit claims. And so it's very important that you support the program. And if you would like to be a volunteer, I suggest that you call 386-439-2122. That's 386-439-2122. You don't have to use your own vehicle. The DAV does have VA vehicles for transportation purposes. You do need to be insurable, and you do have to have a VA physical. So, again, contact your local DAV Chapter 86 at 386-439-2122.
Give them a call.
All right, Eric, before I get talking too much again, do you have some things?
Yes. Let me put this out again. The American Legion Flagler Post 115. They are having their 5th annual charity golf tournament, honoring all who have served, so all you veterans. So this is going to be on Saturday, October 4th at the Palm Harbor Golf Club at 20 Palm Harbor Drive. You have to register. They're going to have a 7 a.m. Registration. So if you don't register before that, you can do it at that date. So there's no excuse. Shotgun is at 9 a.m. And then they have a luncheon catered by Loopers at 1 p.m. So there's a lot of things. They have a raffle, a war luncheon, players prize, and you name it. So they have a lot of things going on that day. So if you need to contact them, give them a call, 386-585-5302, or visit the Flagler Post 115 website, www.flaglerpost115.org. Also, the BFW are having their Sunday pizza every Sunday from 12 to 6. They have many other events. They have their bingo on Thursday. They have their BFW Queen of Heart raffle. That's on every Tuesday, drawing at 7 p.m. They're having the happy hours every day, men's night. So if you want to stop by.
Every day is men's night.
Man, well, hold on a second. Yeah, no, Monday's night. I'm sorry, from 5 to 7. Yeah, not every day. I know they have the other date, so. But yes, give them a chance, sponsor their event.
I see you got a big hamburger on there over there.
Yeah, that's burgers, cheeseburger special. That's on Thursday.
Oh, Thursday's a cheeseburger special.
Yes. So they have a lot of things going on, guys. So
that's pretty much your hub for veterans here in Flagler County. So support your VFW.
Support them.
Anything else over there?
No, I saw that VA put out that they have a new app. I mean, recently not new. It's called the VA Health and Benefit app, which reached, according to this report, 300 million downloads. That's a good thing. So that means not only the youngest guys are downloading, so probably the older vet are doing that.
Well, that's people checking on their claim 5-10 times a day.
10 times a day. Yeah. So it's a pretty good app. I have tried a couple of times. You can refill and track your VA prescription. You can review your appointment, review claims and appeal status. That's what it's used for the most, probably. You can submit evidence for your claim and appeal, review VA payment and direct deposit information, locate any closest VA facility, and access the Veteran Crisis Line and show proof. You can print the summary benefit letter or the proof of veteran status on the app. So you can do a lot of things in the app. So it's a pretty cool app. So if you have a chance, put them on your cell phone.
Yeah, and if you're an older vet, don't be afraid to use these apps. You'll find that once you get used to it, it's and you get tired of trying to call the VA and nobody answers. You can find out the information through the VA.gov app.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you can secure message your physician, whoever you're trying to contact, using that app too. By the way,
once you start using these apps or the technology, you're not going to break anything.
Not at all.
So don't be afraid to use new technology. It can make your life a lot easier.
Oh yes, indeed. I'm pretty sure that they download any game app, so it's easier than that.
Yeah.
So try it.
Well, speaking of claims, recently the Department of Veterans Affairs has made historic strides. They put out information recently. In tackling their disability claims backlog, reducing it, they say, by 25% to under 200,000 claims for the first time since March of 2023. So the VA processed over 2.5 million claims in 2024, a 27% decrease from the previous year, setting new records for efficiency. With mandatory overtime and advanced automation, the VA is streamlining the process to deliver faster benefits to veterans. The Secretary, Doug Collins, vows to keep pushing until the backlog hits record lows, ensuring veterans receive the support they've earned. So I don't know if I've seen any anecdotal evidence of things going quicker, but hey.
That's the numbers they put out.
But
maybe that's possible. But we do so many claims that they probably in my case grant 10 this week, but I got over 15 this week. So that's probably why I don't see it. But it might be it could be true.
Yep,
of course.
Another thing I saw in the news that is interest to a lot of veterans, and a couple of years ago the Army the Biden administration changed one of the names change of multiple Army bases. And, well, they've been reverted back to their original names under a clever way of not using the Confederate generals' names, but finding truly heroic veterans and military service members throughout our history that had the same last name so that they can revert the name of the base back to the original name. So, for example, and this one was already done, but Fort Liberty was Fort Bragg. Now they've returned it to Fort Bragg by honoring a Private Roland L. Bragg, who was a World War II Silver Star recipient. So that was in place of the Confederate General Braxton Bragg. Now, Fort Benning, that one's been returned to its back to its original name, too, of Fort Benning. It was Fort Moore for a short time. Now it's named after Corporal Fred G. Benning, who was a World War I Distinguished Service Cross recipient. Fort Gordon, now back to it's going to return to its original name, and that's being named for Master Sergeant Gary I. Gordon, a Medal of Honor recipient from the 1993 Battle of Mogadishu. Fort Hood, going back to Fort Hood, taking away the name Fort Cavazos, now to honor Colonel Robert B. Hood, a World War I Distinguished Service Cross recipient. Fort Johnson's going back to Fort Polk, and it's being renamed for General James H. Polk, a Silver Star recipient from World War II. Rucker's going back to Fort Rucker. It was for a short time Fort Novacell, but now it'll honor Captain Hugh Rucker, a World War II veteran who was also an Army aviator. Fort Lee, returning to Fort Lee, was for a short time Fort Greg Adams, now being renamed for Private Fitz Lee, a Spanish-American War Medal of Honor recipient. And last but not least, Fort A.P. Hill, which was renamed Fort Walker, now going back to Fort A.P. Hill, but being named after three soldiers, one being Lieutenant Colonel Edward Hill, and then First Sergeant Robert A. Pinn, and Private Bruce Anderson. So that A is for the Anderson, P for the Pinn, and Hill for A.P. Hill. So a combination of soldiers.
That's great. You know, I'm glad that happened. I never got into my head.
Well, they found
changed,
a way to do it to not go back to the Confederate soldiers. It's a good.
Yeah, if you want to please, that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, it's a compromise. That's what life is a compromise.
Absolutely, I'll take it. But
it did upset a lot of the Army about those bases posts being their name changed.
Well, I'll be lost. Even my GPS would be lost. If I have to go to any of those.
So now the names are back to their original names. But under different circumstances, hey, we can live with that.
Yes, indeed.
Right, and
well done.
They found exceptional people to name them after.
That's a job well done.
Job well done. All right. Anything else you have on your list over there?
Yes, I want to share with our veterans that, and we get that question, about. I got a couple questions about this like last week. VA denied me to get some dental services. Yes. Not everybody qualify for dental services. You have to be, like we say before in the previous show, 100% permanent total, or have a condition that is, you have a rating disability for something dealing with your dental, mouth, or something like that. But anyway, we can talk more about that one. But the University of in Gainesville, they have a dental program that you can call them. They're very reasonable. The University of Florida. College of Dentistry, and their phone number is 352-273-6701. So if you need some dentistry done on you, some dental work, give them a call and give them a try. It is very reasonable, and you might be surprised.
And Daytona State College has a dental program over in DeLand, I think it is, and so there's some procedures. You can get cleanings and X-rays and stuff like that, and they'll share the X-rays. So if you're let's say you're a snowbird, because I've known snowbirds that would use it. They go over there, they get X-rays and cleanings, and they can bring those X-rays back to their doctors up north. And so check it out.
There's plenty of place out there.
Yeah, if you need some more information on that, give us a call, 386-313-4014. We'll point you in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Well, we're down to under our 2-minute warning, so means I have to let you know that no country, no state, no community does more for veterans than the United States of America, the great and free state of Florida, the wonderful Flagler County, the lovely city of Palm Coast, and all of our beautiful beach cities. Be a victor, not a victim. Be educated, not indoctrinated. And most certainly and importantly, be kind to many someones today. And Billy, God bless you.
God bless you,
we'll be checking in on you always. So,
indeed.
All right. All right, folks. We'll talk to you next week.
Well, we'll see you guys. Thanks for watching our show or listening to our show. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.